I'm back.
And you're on.
Hey everybody, it is 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio. Woo, woo, woo. And our co-host Vibes is back.
What's going on, everyone? Good to be back. Good to be back. I missed y'all, man. I was kind of going through some things, but it's okay. I'm back. I'm here. And we are here, as always, to stimulate and inspire.
Yes, we're here for you, baby. Epiphany and Vibes.
That's right, on Lust for Life.
And we're going to do a continuation from last week. Recap. We're going to go over revealing things about why you don't have what you want. So we had a list last week that we was going through. So I want to just recap a few lists of the things that we didn't say, and of course, we'll recap on the things we did say. So one of the things that was on the list for number one was religion. So not to, once again, discredit anybody's religion or say religion is bad, or I'm not an atheist either. So this is not a type of debate on trying to steer people off from a religion, but sometimes we get caught up in what's a sin and what's not a sin. And then that stops us from going after certain goals or dreams. Once again, this is not a debate on trying to steer people away from religion, but that's one of the reasons. And number two is self-worth. Self-worth is one of those things that always gets us caught up because we start to talk ourselves out of what we want because we don't think we're worthy of it. And we think that we're supposed to have went through all these hurdles first. Or, I don't have a big enough booty. Everybody on this booty craze right now or something like.
Everybody want a piece of that cake.
You know what that is. All type of insecurities that bubble up, and that can make you have too much of a bubble butt, and you can't fit into any jeans.
It's gonna pop.
I heard Nick Cannon say the other day about how he said, I don't diss anyone who gets those type of butt implants or butt surgeries, but it feels like I'm having sex with a couch. I'm like, ooh.
How do you know what sex with a couch feels like?
Maybe when he was a teen. I heard teenage boys do strange things.
Leather so soft. The leather so soft. It's wheezy, baby. The leather so soft.
So I'm just saying. But number three is conditioning. Certain behaviors, certain brainwashing, certain patterns that can also keep you from what you want. Number four is self-efficacy. When you're in a state of, I don't think I can do it, that would hinder your ability to even move forward on it because it's like a self-defeating attitude. If you feel like you're not smart enough or you're not qualified enough, even if you probably are, because who knows what you can accomplish if you just try.
That's right.
You just have to give yourself a chance. And then you can say, well, hey, I guess I didn't make that one. I heard a cute story about the actress Tia, the sister Tia and Tamara, the twins, and how she first started auditioning when she was a kid to double dutch to get this role. She had to learn how to double dutch. And she ain't know how to double dutch with her damn. She said she felt like one of them people who had them leg braces on as a kid and she couldn't really hardly get her feet to move in the right direction.
That Forrest Gump.
She had that Forrest Gump thing going on. She said she didn't really feel like she could do it. She said she practiced her butt off and it just never happened. So she had a chance. She had ultimatum or a dilemma, crossroads, so to speak. I could either not go to this audition since the requirement is to double dutch and I still didn't figure out how to do it, or go anyway and see what the hell happens. She went anyway, and guess what? The director told her at the last minute, oh, we don't need double dutch anymore. We just need a single rope. So it was like so cute. I love that story. Like she stressed herself out for a whole month trying to figure out how to double dutch, and she didn't even need it. But just think about that. Just think about if she would have went into that situation thinking, well, I don't know how to jump rope, so I'm just not going to go. We wouldn't even know who she is today. There would be no Tia and Tamara probably. You know what I mean? She would be probably working at Walmart. I don't know. I'm going to say the girl working at Walmart, but I'm just saying, no telling what she be doing.
You never know.
You never know. You just got to try, even if you don't think so. So that's number 4. And number 5 is having that mentality that everything is impossible. You go around thinking, oh, that's not possible. That's not possible. That's not possible. I mean, okay, you know, whatever you believe is true. So if it's not possible for you, I guess it's not possible for you. But why is it that 50 million people before you or after you are doing it? You got to think about that. If it's really impossible, why are other people doing it?
Why is it already done?
Why is it already done? By people who have the same type of equipment you have. When I mean equipment, they have both legs working, both arms working, same educational level, same age group even, you know, maybe even look like, you might even look like the person.
And shit, sometimes it's not even, they don't even have the same amount of legs or same amount of arms. Then what's really your excuse?
That is a really good point. I dated a guy that was in a wheelchair one time, and he was doing some amazing things. And the guy I had before him was a straight bum. I'm just going to put it out there, straight bum. And I was like, what was my excuse? This man is running multiple companies from his wheelchair, doing all types of phenomenal things. He told me he literally had 3 bad days when he got his car accident. Well, motorcycle accident. That's how he lost his legs. In a hospital. And he had his little pity party. Of course, anybody would. Devastated when you lose your legs out the blue. You're going to have that moment. He said just 3. And he ain't had those days since. Mm-hmm. He kept it trucking. Mm-hmm. He kept it moving. So once again, you don't even have to have all your legs, your limbs. You don't have. It's once again, that's just excuses. Okay. So number 6 is guilt. So you might feel guilty about something is why you won't pursue something you want.
Yeah.
So you might feel guilty about having something and nobody else having. I gave the example last week of a lady who wanted to buy a Tesla and she could afford it, but she saw a man digging through the trash can of her apartment and it broke her heart. And she felt guilty that it's people in the world who are poor who can't afford this and she can. So she was trying to decide whether she should or not. And someone interrupted her like, girl, what? Just think about this. If you, okay, let's say you don't buy this car. You think that man is not going to be diving in dumpsters?
True.
He's still going to be diving in dumpsters.
Tomorrow,
the next day, it's mentality.
It's his choice.
It is his choice. That's right, Vibe. It's his choice. We all have choices in life. And that's the road he chose himself. So he's like, it's sometimes unforeseen circumstances that make you become homeless. Yes, but you don't have to stay down if you get knocked down. Exactly. You don't have to stay down. So number 7 is the martyr complex. People who think that they got to jump on the knife or the sword in order to do something right in their life. It's almost similar to guilt, but a little bit different. Guilt is basically not buying things or getting what you want because of somebody else. Martyr complex is feeling like you got to save everybody else.
Self-sacrificial.
You're self-sacrificial. Exactly.
Which includes your dreams as well.
Includes your dreams. It does. Because it doesn't have a meter to say, oh, this should be sacrificed. This shouldn't. Exactly. If you're in a habit of sacrifice, anything and everything gets sacrificed.
Yeah.
Even your happiness.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm going to stop there. It's a long list. I wanted Vibes to comment because we missed him last week.
Definitely missed you guys too. Always good to be back. He had some really, really good points, and I got a couple that I'm actually kind of been thinking about for myself. But before I do that, kind of just reflecting on a few things that he was touching on, when we go through a lot of things in life, guys, we always have the choice. We always have that choice to either let it knock us down and keep us down, or we always have that opportunity to get back up. I really find that, I find the most inspirational stories are those stories of loss, are those stories of tragedy, because I feel like, unfortunately, right now, at those times where we're at our lowest moments or at our deepest despairs is when we find our truest courage, where we find, our real character, where we really pull ourselves out of the mud, both physically, spiritually, or all, spiritually, physically, and mentally, and really pull ourselves up even higher than where we were when we first got there. So, just keeping stuff like that in mind, guys, and regardless of where you're at, regardless of what you're doing, just know that you're doing a good job as long as you're putting forth an effort to change and to make, to allow these great blessings in your life. Because hey, we're entering Scorpion season. Shit's gonna get crazy, shit's gonna get wild, shit's gonna get hectic, it may get dark. But that does not mean that your life has to be dark because of it. You could still be a light, you could still be a shining ray of hope within all of this darkness. You can still make a difference. So with that being said, I want to jump into this next topic that E will definitely agree with as well, because we're kind of both working on it, and it's changing the subconscious. So not a lot of people know this, and I don't know if you guys do. Maybe some of you do, some of you don't. But we are the things that we perceive in the world are our lives and what we kind of have as a foundation or constructs within our life, or which we base our life off of, is created in the womb. So before we even take our breath of air in this world, from what we can hear, from what we can feel energetically, and from what the maternal figure takes on as far as stress, as far as any environmental factors, whatever emotions that are felt, that tailors our experience in life. So if you have a mother who's in a very stressful situation, there's a lot of conflict, there's always issues, that child's going to come into a very hostile world, and that child is going to be predisposed to anxiety, to depression, towards,
you wonder why the baby crying night, the baby is colicky.
Exactly.
Things like that. Those conditions are usually come from like stressful environments.
Exactly. So, just little stuff like that. I mean, the first 6 to 7 years really sets forth our foundational paradigms for our life. I mean, that's really what's going to determine who we're going to be, what we're going to do. And while we're in the womb, that's when our subconscious is forming. So our subconscious is forming before we're even born. And it's being filled with all of these things that we can't even control, which is a shitty situation. It's like a catch-22. It's like, yeah, we're being born, but if we're born in a negative situation, it's like, well, we're born in a shitty situation. However, one thing my professor told me that I'll share with you guys, which was really, really profound, I felt, was we cannot control our heritage, but we can control our destiny. So once again, guys, we cannot control how we're brought into the world, who we're brought into the world by, who births us, who creates us. However, we can control what we do with our life when we get it. So with that being said, guys, just remember that, it's all a choice. It is all a choice.
I totally agree. I touched on that last week as well, how conditioning does start in the womb. I used the example about food. There's a reason why most people yearn or fiend for their mother's cooking. Because you start to acquire a certain taste for certain foods because of what your mama ate when she was pregnant with you. Like, it really does start right at the embryo stage. All of the things that you do, like, don't like, it starts right then and there in the womb. So to have to try to get past certain barriers in life, you have to go through a deprogramming system, which is sometimes a long time. And you have to be kind and patient with yourself, because literally, like Vibe said, this is from the womb. And depending on how old you are, if you're 50 years old, you got 50 years of deprogramming to do. So be kind to yourself and patient to yourself about trying to do what some people never actually even figure out. They might even go their whole lives and never figure out how to break certain chains and patterns.
Yeah, just consider, a lot of these people around the world, consider this station, everybody's kind of started with, we had 1 or 2 shows, we had 1 or 2 personalities. And then, as things grew and as things developed, we get more of a presence, and right now we're almost at, being in almost 100 countries around the world. So we just hit 90. We're almost there around the, in 100 countries around the world. I mean, these things take time, these really, really great, solid, structured foundations that create a great, long-lasting legacy. These things take time, but first you have to clear out all that bullshit so that you have a clear enough foundation. It's like when you're taking over an old building and you want to put something new and beautiful there, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go into the concrete. You're going to go into the foundations. You're going to go into the pillars and see if any reconstruction work needs to be done. And depending on how old the building is, 9 times out of 10, you may have to scrap the entire thing, demolish it, and start from scratch. But that does not mean that your project or what you are going to build will be any less beautiful. It probably will be even more because you're taking the time to build it piece by piece. That building is yourself. You know, when you go through these reconstructions, when you go through these changes, you're going to be broken down to your core. You're going to go down and you're going to be deprogramming, like he was saying, stuff that's in your subconscious. If you're 50, for the last 50 years, it's controlled how you thought, how you talked, how you behaved, how you spoke, how you slept, how you shit, how you ate. It's controlled every facet of your life, including what you think and including what you attract into your life.
And most people go to war over their identities.
Very much so. Very much so.
Who they think they are, who they've been taught they are, who they've been practicing they are. They will go to war over their identities. I have a family member that one time I tried to tell her, because she's a little overweight, and I was trying to help her with her digestion, because usually a lot of diseases and problems with weight as well happens with the digestion. And in Ayurveda, we say don't use ice in your drink, have room temperature. Refrigerators are just unnatural. So, you know, I know people like, oh, what? I love a cold drink. I'm not saying never have a cold drink, especially if it's 120 degrees in Vegas. But if it's a nice day and it's not 120, a normal day, you can go without some ice to help your digestion, to make your food process better, to make you overall healthier, because she is a very unhealthy woman, I have to say. So she literally got mad when I told her do not put ice in her drink. Because she was like, honey, I've been putting ice in my drink for the last 50 years. I'm not about to stop putting ice in my drink now.
Oh, look at where the ice got you. On top of a couple of other things. And guys, if you kind of like, oh, what's up with the ice thing? Try it out for yourself. So when you drink a cold cup of water, or if on just a regular day, not a warm day, because obviously your body's going to be hot, so the cool water or cool whatever will help cool you down. Just do it on a regular day. After you eat something, what you're going to notice is that as you drink that water, as it goes down your esophagus and into your stomach, you're going to notice certain parts of your body get a little tighter, like your esophagus.
It's a shock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to constrict it.
Yes.
And what it is, it's going to tighten it, and it's going to make it hard in your digestive tract for that food to process. So it's going to get stuck there. So, I mean, it's not like the shit we're saying is like, it's not, you know, it's not folklore, it's not myth, it's not a wives' tale. Like, this shit has science behind it. So, you know, it's just, it's these little things that make really big differences. I mean, honestly, I don't even drink cold water like that anymore unless it's the summertime. You know, I mean, honestly, even in the summertime, I'll usually drink like either room temperature or even warm water or warm tea sometimes, because it'll still help cool your body down. It's just, yeah, you know, there's just little things like that. But, you know, once again, kind of coming back to, you know, understanding your subconscious and really understanding, you know, how do you look at the world? That's one thing you can kind of ask yourself. And what are you not liking about the world? That's a really good question. You could ask, you know, about like, what do you know? Are you not liking the traffic? Are you not liking your location? Are you not liking your situation? You know, and then kind of take some time to think about, okay, well, what kind of got you there? You know, are there some choices that you could have made differently? Or are there some things that you could have learned from?
Yeah.
And, you know, be honest with yourself and ask, you know, are you repeating those same choices? Are you repeating those same actions, maybe just in a different way, contributing to you still feeling stuck, to you still feeling upset, to you still feeling like you're in a rut, to where you're still feeling like I'm not going where I need to. There has to be something more than this. There is, and it's within you. It's within you. It's literally that simple. So, you know, and kind of going back to the subconscious thing, I know that we're taught at a very young age, and I'm going to ask you to help me out with this. So finish the sentence. Money is the root of all
evil.
See, and that's the problem. Money is not evil. And even if you want to quote the Bible, it's the love of money that makes it evil. It has nothing to do with the greed of fame. It could be the greed of, you know, assets, whatever it is. That is the true root of evil. What is money? Money is just a tool. However, if you're taught, like you just illustrated at such a young age, that money is the root of all evil, you're going to subconsciously think that money is the root of all evil. Right. So what you do is that guilt.
Number 6 on the list.
Exactly. Once you get that money, you're going to feel like, oh, damn, I must be turning evil. So you block that abundance of wealth into your life subconsciously to where you don't even realize it.
Wow. Wow. I don't think a lot of people even realize what you just said, Vibes. Like, that was some real gold right there. Because a lot of people love money and hate money at the same time. It's almost like how a street guy would treat a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
All men love sex, but at the same time, they have a lot of guilt about it, so they sneak in back alleys and motels and do all type of crazy stuff that show a side of them that hates it at the same time.
100%.
When you have those conflicting feelings inside of yourself, there's no peace.
At all. You know, guys, real quick, just kind of work with me. This is a quick little visualization exercise. A few things that I've kind of learned from my classes, I'm going to share them with you. There's actually a really cool guy who came into my class. He actually wrote the Taste of Garlic Recipe for Life, or Don't Forget the Garlic, something rather. His name's JC Melvin. He actually came into my class and spoke. Really cool guy. This is kind of his exercise, and I asked him for it, got permission. So, you know, he said that we could exercise it. So, you know, do me a favor, visualize yourself as you wake up in the morning. You wake up, you get out of bed, and next to you are these two buckets. And in these buckets, there's mud. Like, it's literally just sloshy, like slurpy looking, just wet mud in these buckets. And as soon as you get out of bed, you crouch down and you pick up those buckets. And wherever you go throughout the day, you take those buckets with you. So you wake up in the morning, you take those buckets to the dresser, slosh a little bit of mud on the chest of drawers, but you get dressed. Okay. So you go to the bathroom, slosh a little bit of mud, but then you brush your teeth, get ready for the day. Okay, cool. So what happens when you start interacting with people? Well, you go downstairs or you go out, you know, you cook some food if you have someone in your house. If not, we'll just skip to you going throughout your day. When you get into your car, you're sloshing some mud in your car because those buckets are filled literally to the brim. So wherever you set them down, you're going to slosh some mud around. So as you go and interact with your coworkers, your friends, your family, every time you set those buckets down or every time you go up to someone to talk to them, that mud is sloshing around and you're spilling that mud onto them. That mud is the negative apperceptions or the negative perceptions you have about your life.
Yes.
That mud is that toxicity that you hold within yourself. That mud is those issues with your self-image, those issues with your self-esteem. That mud is you blocking yourself from your blessings and in turn sharing that energy with those around you so they block their blessings. So in turn, you're not blocking their blessings for them, but you're not doing anything to help them make it better either. You know, you're kind of like contributing to this
passively contributing.
Exactly. Yeah. You're passively contributing to this downward spiral where, you know, you're sharing this mud and you guys are all just in this fucking mud and filth when it's like, well, no, that's not what this needs to be. But then it comes down to a choice. You know, sometimes you got to outgrow those that you grew up with or that are around you because, you know, some people want to elevate, some people want to stay where they are, and that's fine. But everybody's going to be on a different wavelength at a different point in time. You know, I'm very lucky to where there's still a lot of people from my past or when I was growing up, you know, kids that are dudes that I went to school with, middle school with, and high school with that I still talk to that I'm lucky. But for the most part, there's probably like 4 or 5. And that's it. From the last 10 years, you know, of being in school. So, you know, it's just little things to consider, guys. You know, I mean, it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. But if you got to elevate and if you got a gift to give in this world, you can't let anything stop you no matter what, because your gift and what you're servicing and what you're giving to the world means more to the world and is more meaningful to the world, quite honestly. And you may hate me for saying it, than your personal feelings or your personal love to share with someone, especially if that person doesn't want to elevate on that level and tap into their gift as well and share it. You know, that attraction, that those energies attract one another. And if you're going to stay stagnant, that person will stay stagnant, which, you know, kind of rolls into this next thing I want to talk about is leading by example. If you want to be change, facilitate the change. If you want to see change, be the change. It's literally that simple.
It is, because people are naturally prone to mimic other people, especially if you like that person. I mean, this is done, and studies have been shown if somebody likes you, they will naturally start to laugh like you over time. They will naturally start to sit like you over time. You will naturally start eating similar foods and things like that over time. So
both good and bad. So good and bad habits, guys.
Good
Keep
and
that
bad
in mind.
habits.
It's just like a child. They will mimic both good and bad habits because
it's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time and because we're always learning.
Mm-hmm.
Always learning, always adapting. Our brain is always forming.
And it's a form of flattery, like a subconscious flattery, if you mimic somebody else. So therefore, if you're around that person all the time, you're basically going to absorb everything that person is going to be doing on a conscious level or a subconscious level, which could sometimes become very dangerous. And that goes to what I said last week. Was that number 10 about keeping the wrong company? Sometimes the wrong company is a part of what you intake and digest. I recently saw an article about a woman who went on a 21-day fast, but not the type of fast that you think of. It wasn't nothing to do with food. It was doing with like visualization. So and sound. So therefore, she didn't listen to music of any kind, not even like a slow healing music. She didn't listen to any type of music. She didn't watch any type of screen, whether it was on her phone, laptop, or television. She literally cut out that of her life and demonstrated that she was able to manifest some things that she couldn't before without that distraction. It was an interference. Sometimes your pure state just by yourself is abundant and you don't even realize it because you have all of this, what Vibes was talking about, mud being sling on you from other people. And by the time you realize it, you're like a mommy walking funny, trying to get to the other side of the road. You can't because you're so heavy. You're so heavy with all the crap. You can't even walk anymore. When you can walk perfectly fine if you weren't always in interaction with other interference.
You know, and sometimes, guys, that mud isn't just what people throw on you. Because, yeah, people throw mud on you. But, you know, kind of thinking about going back to, you know, how you share that mud with others. That mud, in another sense, could be also your emotional baggage. So any traumas, anything that you've kind of brought into a new relationship, anything that you've kind of brought in and kind of, you know, had it spill into, that shit you got to deal with, man. That shit you got to let go of because that's not fair on that new person that enters your life that they have to deal with that. They didn't do anything to do with that. They didn't start that. They didn't create that. And they damn sure aren't going to finish it because that's your job and your responsibility too. If you truly want a new relationship or if you want a new business, if you want a fresh start, you got to let go of all that shit that was there in the past. And you got to truly be done with it. Because if not, it's going to go on everywhere. It's going to go on everything. And hey, I get it. You know, sometimes this shit is hard to deal with. Sometimes, you know, it's a little more than just, you know, getting cut off on the freeway or getting fired or having someone speak bad about your back, behind your back. You know, sometimes it could be, you know, you were beaten for a progression of years. It could have been you were raped or sexually assaulted. It could have been, you know, you had your life threatened. You had stalkers, whatever it is. If you need professional help, go get it. You know, contact us, contact anyone in your local area, get you some help because the only way you're going to have a better life, the only way you're going to truly live your life, enjoy your life and have a lust for life
is reprogramming yourself.
Is reprogramming yourself and dealing with that shit that you have buried deep down that you've repressed, that you've been drinking to cover, that you've been smoking to cover up, you've been popping pills to cover up, that you've been watching Netflix and binging every show in the world to cover up, that you've been keeping yourself distracted to cover up, that you've been burying yourself from schoolwork and work and anything just to cover it up. It's going to resurface some point or later, and it's going to be worse later than it is now. So,
and that's my number 17, depression. Depression is one of the main things that can keep you from your blessings. And you have to be cognitive of what you're feeling when you wake up. Like, you know, the example that Vibes gave with the person waking up with the 2 buckets. We wake up with this mess. We start our day with it. But you can also start your day off on another vibration if you choose.
100%.
Like this morning, I felt a little anxious. So I decided to go on YouTube and look up one of my favorite comedians. A 5-minute clip can change your day.
100%.
A little laughter, hee, instead of crying. What do you want to wake up crying for? eyes all puffy, snot running down, you ugly. Why would you laugh your way out of the funk to shed off some of that excess dirt?
And unnecessary.
And it's a domino effect. Like we say, we subconsciously do things and consciously do things, because when we find something we love and it's funny, we like to share it. So if you have a funny little clip, what you gonna do when you get to work? You go, hey, coworker, look at this. This shit is funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
And then that person who might have been depressed is also gonna be like, and share it with somebody, and you see how it happened. Instead of creating a domino effect of depression, coming to work crying and being a wet Sally, wet Willie at work, messing up everybody else's mood.
Yeah.
You can decide. Like Vibe says, a choice. Decide.
You know, one thing kind of happened to me that was crazy the other night. I was kind of up tripping. I couldn't sleep. I don't know if it was Venus retrograde. It was us preparing for this full moon in Taurus that we just had last night, and you know, kind of finishing tonight.
Oh yes, I know y'all feel it.
Oh yeah, all that drama, all that craziness, all that fighting and hostility and
all
attitude,
those wolves
and
howling at the moon,
and all that crazy shit. Blame the full moon. Blame that damn full moon. But no, guys, you know, I was up at like 2 a.m. I had to be at work at 7. I was just up. I was up. I was thinking. I couldn't stop thinking. I was just in my fucking head. And the entire time I'm trying to make myself go to sleep. And it was really interesting that I was actually talking to a coworker when I got to work, mind you. And I had a little time because I obviously went in early because I couldn't sleep. So I went in early and I talked to my coworker, and he was like, you know what, man, I couldn't sleep the last couple of days. And I was like, oh, so what'd you do? He was like, I read. And I was like, I read. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, man, you know, for the last couple of years, I've had a really hard time sleeping, and I've created so much anxiety for myself over the last couple of years of, you know, trying to make myself go to sleep. I finally just said, you know what, I'm going to listen to my body, and I'm just going to do something. If my body wants to be up, I'm going to at least make sure while it's up, it's going to be productive. So if he wakes up and he just can't go back to sleep, he's up reading, he's working out, he's stimulating his mind, he's bettering himself instead of sitting here trying to make himself go to sleep, popping pills, drinking, smoking, whatever, trying to get himself go to sleep.
Waking other people up and sticking mud on them, because I got a text at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so, you know, all that. It's just, you know, it's once again, guys, just making sure that, you know, you're living your best life, you're being as productive and positive as you can. And literally, it just takes something that small. That small is, you know, watching a video first thing in the morning. Something as small as making, you know, if your body can't go to sleep, it's up for a reason. Listen to your body. Be productive with it. Listen to it. You know, one thing that I've tried to do is, as I go to sleep, talk to my body at night and be like, hey, how are you? You know, you had a great job today. You know, acknowledge your little feats and your little successes and your little progressions. Because honestly, no one else will. No one else is going to pat you on the back. No one else is going to say good job. They will, and then it's going to be 5 million other things that you did wrong. So congratulate yourself. Pat yourself on the back, because at the end of the day, only you will. And quite honestly,
that's your job.
Exactly. Your pat on the back should be the only one that matters.
Yes. That is your job. It
should be literally the only one that matters, because 9 times out of 10, the same people that are going to lift you up are going to be the same people that will kick you down.
Yes.
So, and they're just lifting you up so that they can get lifted up along the way. So it's not even really for you. It's just, so once again, guys, you know, that's kind of getting on a petty spell, and we're not about to get on that, but it's just, you know, once again, that full moon, just remember why you're here. Remember how powerful you are as a human being. Remember, you won the sperm race. There was millions of other sperm, millions, and you won for a reason. You're here to contribute something. You're here to give a gift. And if you don't give that gift, I mean, honestly, the only person that you're really failing is yourself and those around you that could benefit from you, because you never know what someone's going through until you share what you're going through. And before you know it, you're surrounded by 5, 10, 15, 5,000 people that are going through the same thing you are.
And with that, we're going to have a music break and be right back. If you see somebody familiar, why don't you check the thing what was going on?
Oh, I need to make sure that it wasn't.
Oh. Yeah.
People are being tagged. Let me see if I can tag it. All y'all tagged. All y'all get love. You get attacked. You get attacked. You get attacked. This is my alarm every morning.
Yes, this
It
is a
is.
crazy alarm.
Boss the fuck up, be something,
Yeah,
nigga.
crazy
I am
alarm.
an example of what can happen when you quit being afraid to gamble. You damn right it's my alarm when I wake up.
Crazy.
Shook the dice and roll on niggas like you want to stay shook and froze. I get busy.
I like something
I
soft.
need something annoying.
I need something soft.
That's why I have the.
No. It'll be a problem. We'll be fighting in the bed.
Bruh, that's only the first alarm. You should hear the other three.
Yes.
So you have different.
Yes.
I have to.
Yes.
I have to.
Hilarious.
Because, dude, you figure I go to sleep at 2, I got to be up at 6. I'm going to need something to get me up. So, let me go back.
And you're on.
And we're back. This is your favorite station, 22.3 Vegas Takeover Radio. And this is Lust for Life. And I am Epiphany.
And it's your boy Vibe. So one thing I want to say about Spitta, man, is, Currency has always motivated me. I mean, you can hear a lot of things in his words and a lot in his lyrics, but one thing that I'll always give Spitta, man, is, he stayed underground, he started underground, and he will forever be underground. He was on the top for a minute, tried to, do a few things, and things went a little left, and then he fell all the way back to the bottom, had to sell his cars, had to move back with his mom, and then literally got his grind right back to it. Lost the power, had candles on, and he just sat there and plotted. Went and put out a mixtape literally 2 to 3 every month for a year straight. And this is after he was done and signed with Cash Money. So, the man's a grinder, the man does his thing. And bro's about to have a baby. Man deserves everything that he got coming to him. So Spitta, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for motivating me, getting me up in the morning to do what I do. That's my alarm. Epiphany hates it. Epiphany can't stand it, but that's my alarm. I love it. It gets me up in the morning. We all got to be examples. We all got to be examples. We got to.
You have to follow your heart.
That's it.
So therefore, I always tell people that can probably be one of the things that's keeping you from what you want. Mm. You're not following your heart. You're following someone else's heart, or you're trying to convince people why your dream is your dream. Mm-hmm. Which is also a waste of time.
100%.
Trying to convince others is on my list of number 15, because some people just won't get it. They don't have the same vision as you.
Yeah.
They don't have the same perceptions. They don't have the same way of thinking, way of being. So you constantly, every day, over and over again, trying to convince them and get people on board on what you think is so grand. You're wasting time, because if they don't get it on day one, they're not going to get it.
Exactly.
It's not for them. It's
and if
not
they are
going
to get it, they're going to get it after
you come up.
Exactly. They're gonna go, oh yeah, I was there. I get it now. I get it now. Oh yeah, you get it because you want to get some. Mm-hmm. Not you get it because you want to get it done. You get it because you want to get some, not get it done.
So do not go around trying to convince people, trying to get people to buy into your dreams. They're your dreams, baby. Let you do you and let them do them.
Because at the end of the day, your actions will always speak louder than anything that you could ever say. Anything you can try to convince, your actions are going to speak it. So, if there's something you want to convince someone with, and if they don't believe you, that's fine. Because guess what? 5-10 years later, when everything pans out, when everything works out, they'll be the ones like, damn, he was right or she was right. They were right. Yeah, they were. But it's once again believing in yourself when no one does, believing in your dreams and in your passions and in your desires, seeing your vision when no one else will. Think about Walt Disney. He went out to that dirt lot in that desert and said, this is where it's going to be. This is going to be Disneyland. And nobody knew what the fuck he was talking about.
Well, it wasn't Disneyland.
You're insane.
Because there was nothing like that on that level that man did at that time.
At all, in any way, shape, or form. So, when that came about, the man revolutionized everything from retail to media to, family experiences to literally all parts of life because he believed in his vision and he did not quit no matter what.
To the point that if you don't go to Disney World, you feel like you didn't have a real childhood. Most people are bitter who did not go to Walt Disney World.
For real, like that's just like a fucking shaming. Like I tell people I haven't been to Disney World and they're like, you ain't been to Disney World?
It's weird how that happens.
You ain't been to Disneyland, nigga? Like we're right next to you. You ain't been to Knott's Berry Farm, like Disneyland and shit, bro. What the fuck is wrong? Sorry. Why?
That's some great marketing right there. That man is a genius. That is some great marketing to the point where you don't feel like you had a real childhood just because you didn't go to this park.
That's it. That's literally
I know several people are bitter because they did not ever go to Disney World as a kid. Vibes is one.
Especially during Halloween. Don't let me put, man, to Halloween time. That's my dream. I just want to go to Disneyland once during Halloween time.
That's impressive.
Kick it with Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie. Get it in. Just chill with him. Just kill it. Go see Harry Potter. Drink some pumpkin juice. That's Universal Studios. Never mind. But nonetheless,
he knows more about it than people that probably have been.
Right. And they're building the Star Wars land. Oh, dude, shit, it's over with. It's okay. See, I've been there in my dreams.
He will get there in real life.
That's right.
You just got to keep your dreams alive. You got to be determined. You got to be focused. That goes to number 12 of the recap. Overthinking and not being focused. Because if you're overthinking, you're not focused. I read something so beautiful this week.
Tell them. Drop knowledge.
So beautiful this week that I was like, oh, it makes more sense. I already kind of knew this, but he just brought it home when I got the numbers. Remember how I always said, okay. I always said that you can research yourself that the average adult has about 70,000 thoughts a day.
At least
You could have more. Average. The average amount of thoughts that a successful athlete has.
LeBron James.
Serena Williams. 25,000 thoughts a day.
A third, at least.
What is that?
Focus.
Are they aliens? What is that? Why are their brains so different? Because they focused. What I'm saying, they focused.
That's it. Simple conditioning.
You overthinking about what person's saying about you? Why? Who cares about what they said about you? You thinking about what happened 10 years ago that you still mad about and ain't let go of? Why? That was 10 years ago. You over here thinking about what you were supposed to do yesterday that you didn't do and how you gonna do it and all this. Why? That was yesterday.
You ain't getting that back.
Focus.
Oh, I see you over there, big mad. Oh, you big mad. See, I just want my money. Can I have my money?
So silly.
Why you mad? Oh, you big man. Go and live your life, baby. Stop being big man. Be big happy.
It was a reason years ago why I actually got off of Facebook. I'm on there now because of business purposes, but it was a reason why I had disconnected because you see so much garbage. At first, it was fueling me educationally when I first got on, I'll admit. Then over time, I don't know what happened.
How?
It was fueling me because I was part of a lot of groups. I was a part of a lot of
that's right.
cultural groups and things of that nature. And I was learning a lot about the Orishas, things that I wouldn't have learned in school. So I actually liked it at first. But anyway, I saw a conversation on Facebook the other day between two ladies in the belly dance community. I used to be in a belly dance community. And she was posting a meme that was about her. Another belly dancer saw it and let her whole everything come inside out. Her whole world. I literally witnessed this woman's world get turned inside out over a comment on Facebook that really didn't have to do with her. The meme was basically like this really sexy, like Jasmine belly dancer to the left, and on to the right, it was this really sloppy, really overweight belly dancer, like looked like Marshmallow Puff Man from the Ghostbusters. And the caption read on the side was like, when I dance, I think I look like Jasmine over here. But what I really look like is the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Expectation versus reality.
She was talking about herself though, because I looked at her pictures. I didn't really know this girl like that, and I knew the other belly dancer though, the overweight one. And I'm looking at her like she's kind of big for a girl in that type of field. Like she's not skinny herself. She must be talking about herself. I was able to see, maybe because I'm in psychology, I was able to pick up that she was talking about herself. And she even admitted in the thread after the girl attacked her, she was like, "You're fat shaming us. We can shake our fat bellies if we want to. I hate when people fat shame other fat people." And I wish her whole world got turned upside. She was incorporating other belly dancers in the conversation in the thread and trying to attack the lady. And the lady would simply say, like, "Look, I'm talking about myself. Being overweight is unhealthy. It's a fact. I'm sorry if you got offended and took it personal because you got some type of shame and guilt about yourself that you're projecting onto me right now. But I was talking about me. You must think you feel or look like the marshmallow puff man from Ghostbusters if you're attacking me."
Yeah.
I was crying, laughing. I'm like, oh my God, if I was that business, I would be deleting my page right now. This is ridiculous. It was a crazy thing to see. You let your whole day go by over something that had nothing to do with you.
You know, that's a really, really
stay focused.
That's yes, 100%. You know, but I feel like it's deeper than that. That was a really interesting point that you really just brought up, and I thought, I mean, it's crazy how the internet has become a conduit for us to lash out all of our insecurities and lash out all of our issues. At first, it was, a therapist, it was an entertainment, it was, for some people, unfortunately, it was their spouse, kids. I mean, and of course not physically, but it's just like venting, and taking all that shit out on them. For some people, it was booze or cigarettes or whatever, which is better, social media. But it's just, we're always going to need that outlet. And why do we need that outlet? We need that outlet because we have a sense of inconsistency with ourself and our spirit. So there's two beings that we have within our bodies: our spirit, which is our higher self, that knows what it's here for, what it's here to do, what gifts it's supposed to give. Like it has the whole roadmap, has the whole fucking plan. And then what we have, our skin, our bodies, our flesh, our vessel, has an entire different mind of itself called the id. Our spirit is our super ego. And they battle between day and night all the time within ourselves, that little good angel and bad angel. And in between, we have our ego, which is just us. That's just us, our ego. How we perceive the world, how we take in the world, how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves in connection with the world. So, think about that and think of how if there's incongruence or an inconsistency with your spiritual self and your physical self, if these two aren't getting together, then obviously your life's going to be in conflict. Because if yourself can't get together, how the fuck are you going to get anything else in your life together? So I want you to do something. This is the last little exercise I have for you guys tonight. And I want you to take this past this episode. Re-listen to this episode if you have to, but I want you to take this. So you see here, if you can not see it because you're not online, imagine in your mind I have a magical wand. Okay, I have a magical wand. It's made out of phoenix feathers and everything from Harry Potter. It's beautiful. It's the Elder Wand. I have the Elder Wand, right?
The Phoenix Rising?
That's it. That's that. Yes, exactly. So I wave my wand and money's not an issue. There's no amount of money, monetary expense. Your health is perfect. You have all the time in the world. After you go fucking nuts, after you pay all your debt, buy everybody a house, buy everyone a car, go to all these places, do all this traveling. After you spend all that money, buy all those clothes, because obviously your money is infinite. After you do all that, really sit down and think about, what do you do now? After everything's said and done, you bought everything you could. You've spent all the money that you know where to spend. Now, how do you give back? Or do you give back? That's the question. And I ask you that because that's going to help give you detail into who you really are, into your true self. And if you don't give back, hey, that's fine. That's you. That's okay. but be honest with yourself and accept yourself for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to sit up here and say, oh, well, I'm this person that gives, when really I just want to take everything and not fucking do anything with it. You know, one thing you're working on is personal mission statements. And I noticed the 3 verbs that I used personally was ascend, motivate, and heal. Not in that order, obviously, because you can't ascend, then motivate, then heal. But first you would heal, then you would motivate, then you would ascend. But, you know, think about, and I think about how that applies in my life. Well, you know, with my actions and what I do in my life, I do try to do healing work as best as I can within myself and with others, hence the show, and he does as well. We motivate people, we help them become the better versions of ourselves, and we created Lust for Life to help people ascend. So my personal mission statement is something I'm already living. I'm already in congruence with myself, with my spirit, and what I'm supposed to do. It may not be on the magnitude that it should be or what it's going to be, but we're at a good foundation. So, you know, think about that with your life. Once all the money's spent, once everything's bought, all the Louis, all the Ferragamo, all the Prada, all the Chanel, all the fucking Saint Laurent, all the fucking red bottoms, everything that could be purchased is purchased.
Red bottoms.
Now, what do you do with your money? How do you use it? Are you going to just squander it? Are you going to spend it until you literally have no more? Or are you going to recreate it? Are you going to put it into something? Are you going to invest? Are you going to reinvent? And no matter what your answer is, be honest with yourself and accept it. And from there, you'll be able to get a better insight as to who you are and the type of life you should be living. Because if you're still feeling like you're depressed, you're upset, 9 times out of 10, if you're anxious, you're worried about the future, something that hasn't happened yet. If you're depressed, you're worried about something that has already happened. You're living in the past. Be at peace. Live in the present. Be here, be present, be mindful. Because the reality of it is yesterday is already gone and tomorrow is not here yet. So the only thing that you can control is right now.
That is so true. I remember when I was having really bad anxiety at this particular time in my life, and I took an abnormal psychology class. And I read the book and definition for the word anxiety. And it was what Vibe said, and it made me feel so stupid. Like, I literally didn't have any anxiety for the rest of that term after I read that definition, because the definition of anxiety is being anxious about something that's supposed to come projected in the future, a possibility that didn't even happen yet. Didn't happen.
You worried about something that ain't even happened yet.
A projection that might happen somewhere down the line in your life, maybe next year, maybe 10 years from now. Maybe not ever. And you are freaking out about a possibility that might not ever happen. I read that like, damn.
Yeah. You know what kind of just blew my mind too, and I just thought about it? You know how YOLO first started like 5 to 7 years ago?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the catalyst for the mindfulness movement. You only live once. That embodies mindfulness. That was really interesting if you really think about it. Like when YOLO came out and when everybody was like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, YOLO. And it's like people were doing it for a more like, okay, well, I won't pay my rent, or oh, I'm gonna go get these shoes, or oh, I'm gonna go get drunk. But there were some people who really took that and was like, you're right, you do only live once. I should be more appreciative. I should be more present and more here in the now. And
stop, saving things for the future. I had a habit of saving things for the future.
Me too. Shoes.
And I still kind of like debate and do that with myself. Like today I was at a grocery store, something simple as a grocery store shopping. I saw some pastries. I was like, oh, those pastries are nice. And I was like, nah, it's not a special occasion or anything. What are we gonna do with all these pastries? I was like, nah, I walk away, come back, walk away. People was looking at me and watching me. I told Vibes too, like the guy thought I was debating about the calories, because I was thinking about that too, but he was like, do you really want a big belly? He was rubbing his big belly. He had a Santa Claus belly. Do you really want to do that to yourself?
And you know what my answer would be? You goddamn right, and I would work for that belly. I would spend so much energy eating every single bite of that motherfucking pastry.
Vibes has a high metabolism. I always have him on my back when it comes to sugar.
All day. all day.
So I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Why am I saving this for a special occasion? Today is a special occasion.
Waking up
Right
is.
now is
Yeah.
a special occasion.
Yeah.
How many people you know who always got something in their cupboard saving for a special occasion?
Man, that motherfucking, that wine that you bought that was like age 4 years and now it's age 12.
I'm special for age occasion.
Yes, they're fantastic. Those pastries were beautiful.
Yes, he ate a white.
Three.
And they were big. They were big. They not
They
little
were
bitty.
like a normal.
They weren't
cinnamon
little bitty
roll.
three.
They look like a honey bun. They were like the size
He
of
ate
a
three honey buns. I can't eat one honey bun in one sitting. He ate 3 honey buns basically. And I love to see a smile on his face. When he saw those, he had the biggest smile, and it was worth it.
But once again, guys, it's literally just that. Do what makes you happy in your life, because at the end of the fucking day,
You might get hit by a car tomorrow. You don't know.
you don't answer to me. You don't answer to E. You don't answer to your
No.
mom.
No.
You don't answer to your dad. You don't answer to your fucking kids. You don't answer to your spouse. You answer to you.
Yeah,
So do what the fuck makes you happy.
yeah.
Do what makes you
Yeah.
excited. Do what sets your heart on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing that right now, then reestablish and reevaluate your fucking life and figure out where you went wrong and where you're unhappy and change it. Because until you don't, or until you do, your life is going to be the same exact way. And right now, we're actually at a really, really big pivotal time with the planets. We're going to be entering a time where we're literally having a really big decision by the end of this year.
Crossroads.
We're either going to repeat these last 12 years. So from 2006 on, everything that happened, we're going to continue that cycle. And you know damn well there was a cycle from 2006 till now. So we're either going to continue that, or we're going to start fresh and create a new cycle. One of love, one of beneficial, one of being beneficial towards us. One that's more towards a universal and collective love, towards a universal and collective growth and progress, and just one towards a universal success, not only just for yourself and for those around you, but for the human mind and for humanity as a collective, both mentally and spiritually. So guys, never forget, never, ever, ever forget, you have the power to control your life. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to do anything in your life.
It's about focusing and starting with just one change a day. Because once again, the average person has 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday.
100%.
So try to do something different, at least one thing different. My preference, I love to do something that scares me. That's like, do one thing that scares you.
Yeah.
That's different. To work that muscle, to get you out of a certain routine, a bad habit, to get you elevated to where you want to be. And if you're having trouble with that, you can contact us. That's what we're here for. We're therapists. We're here to help you and guide you into being the person that you want to be, not what your mom wants you to be, your dad wants you to be, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. It's not about them right now. It's about you. And you could come to we have a YouTube channel. You come to us on our IG. You come to us Facebook, Twitter. It's all the same. The number 4, LUST4LIFELV. Once again, LUST4LIFELV, and our email is LUST4LIFELV@consultant.com. And hook us up, and we can hook you up. We can basically exchange energies and create something beautiful.
And that's why we're here, guys. You know, we entered this earth. We came upon this earth to share love, to teach, to educate, but most importantly, to inspire. And, we're not perfect. We're human. We don't always lead by example, but we're making the conscious effort to change both consciously and subconsciously, to prepare and to invite in this new energy that is good, that's positive, that's loving, and to bring about this change both within us and help change the world. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way we're going to progress as a humanity. It's not all being Democrat. It's not all being Republican. It's not all being a part of the EU. It's not all fucking being communist. It's not all of us being one thing except human. So with that, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. We honor you. We respect you. All we ask is that you do the same for yourself.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. We love you guys. We'll be talking to you soon.
Sleep tight.
And take care.